So I'm having a break from the decorating, and I was thinking about sleep. And I was thinking about it because the person that I was talking about in the last video, who'd been really struggling and really terrifying herself actually with her thinking and everything she was bringing alive and all the evidence that she was finding for her thinking, because that's what our mind does. When we set it in a certain direction, we say, find evidence for why I'm damaged. Your mind will find it. And it's when you start giving your mind different information, it goes in a different direction. But anyway, maybe that's another video. But she'd been struggling so much, she hadn't been sleeping. And it was funny, I was just thinking about that because on that particular call that we had, and she was so overwrought by the time we spoke, and she said, I just haven't slept. And anyway, she kept trying to draw me into the narrative, and I kept resisting and just coming back into the space where there's answers, and this space of connection where we're all the same. We're all doing the best we can given how we're seeing the world in that moment. And then I realized, so she kind of had that sort of moment of, oh, maybe I am okay. Maybe I am creating all of this. Maybe we're all doing the best we can. And she saw that for herself. And when she had that moment, she got really quiet, and I realized that she'd fallen asleep. She just fell asleep on the call. And maybe I'm just really boring, but no, she just completely relaxed, and she just fell asleep. And I remember just going, okay. I just stayed there and kind of talked to her a little bit in the background and kind of just reassured her and just did my own thing. And eventually she woke up and she was like, oh my goodness, Kate, I'm so sorry. I think I've been asleep. And I was like, it's fine. And she went, oh my God, that was so nice. And it made me think about that because last night I had the opposite experience. I didn't sleep. I'm here, I'm just helping my son out. I'm doing some DIY, and it's in London, and I'm not used to the noise in London. I didn't have any earplugs, and I'm obviously too much of a country girl, and just the noise. I was just awake. And then I started to think about being awake, and and it was interesting because I do observe myself quite a lot now. I'm less attached to what I'm doing. I kind of see it more. And because I always think it kind of helps me, I don't know, maybe it helps me help other people when I can really have experience of what, just remember what it feels like, when you're completely anxious. Because everyone does it. We all get lost in the same stuff. Our bodies all respond. If we're telling ourselves a story, our body will respond. And it's this kind of it's like getting interested in what our body is telling us. So it's kind of like a fight or flight feeling where, you start to feel the adrenaline, and your heart rate kind of starts to, and you just I was feeling it last night. I was feeling this. And yet you realize that we kind of trigger this fight or flight when we don't need it. It's like, I really am not being chased by, a lion, or I'm not, or, that's a stupid example, but my life isn't in danger. I'm just not sleeping. But if I am telling myself a story about it, if I'm telling myself, this isn't okay, this is not okay that I am going to be awake probably the whole night. I mean, I did get a couple of hours, but if I'm telling myself a story about it, I'm going to feel it. If I'm telling myself this is not okay, immediately I kind of go into fight or flight. And your body responds. We are designed with such perfection. It's so amazing when you watch it. Our body responds. So I'm lying there at 3 a.m, and I'm starting to feel, this adrenaline and this anxiety kind of but it isn't fight or flight, because I don't need to be triggering fight or flight, because there's no danger here. So you recognize it, recognize it for what it is. It's just anxiety. It's anxiety running through my body. And where's it coming from? It's coming from me telling myself that I'm not going to be okay tomorrow, or this isn't okay. This isn't okay that I'm, oh my God, I'm going to be awake the whole night. And, I think I remember, last night I just kind of recognized it and got a bit interested in it and let it be there. I think I must have gone to sleep eventually. But it reminded me of a time previously when, again, I wasn't sleeping and I started to feel that anxiety. It's like, oh God, I'm not sleeping. And it's always coming from, I'm not okay. I'm not okay because tomorrow, I won't be okay tomorrow, or something. We're telling ourselves something in order to feel that anxiety. It is coming from a message we're giving ourselves, like, this isn't okay. And I remember that time I lay there and I was like, I need to find a quiet space. I need to know what I'm thinking to get rid of this anxiety. I need to find this space of being where I can, just let it go. And I need to, and I couldn't see that all the time I was going, I need something to change in this moment. And then I saw it. I was like, Kate, you don't need anything, and this acceptance kind of just, it's like when we get, we have a willingness to see what we're doing, because often we just like blindly follow, we just keep doing the same thing. Like, I need to change this. I need to get calm. I need to see what I'm thinking so I can relax. Then I'll be able to go to sleep because I need something to change. It's only when you pause in the silence and then you're like, what am I doing? I'm doing a whole load of thinking on top of my thinking to try and get rid of my thinking. Oh my God, no wonder I'm getting more and more anxious and I'm more and more awake. And then it occurred to me, acceptance. Just like in this moment, just accepting that I'm overthinking, that I am telling myself a story about this. And in this moment, I'm in all of it. I'm just bringing it all alive, and it's okay. I don't need to get rid of it. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to change the anxiety. I don't need to, because ultimately, I'm going to be okay. Tomorrow I'll be okay. I might not feel my best, but I'll be okay. I'll deal with it then, And it wasn't like finding, it wasn't like finding, I need to try and accept this in order to go to sleep, because that is more trying, that is more thinking. It wasn't that. It was like accepting all of it, accepting that I am overthinking right now, accepting that I am kind of keeping all of this alive. I am doing a lot right now. In that space of acceptance, like true acceptance, nothing needs to change. You know that you're okay beyond it. You know that you're just having an experience of life in that moment, and your body is responding to it. You're feeling it, all of it, because we feel our experiences, we feel our thinking, we feel, if we're telling ourselves we're not okay, we're going to feel that. We're going to go into kind of that fight or flighty feeling. And there's just an acceptance. That's what I'm doing right now. I don't need anything to change. And what happens is, kind of subconsciously or unconsciously or whatever, what we're doing is we are telling ourselves, I'm okay, even when I'm overthinking. Whereas when we're trying to change our thinking, when we're trying to get rid of anxiety, what are we telling ourselves? I'm not okay. I'm not okay while I'm feeling anxious. I'm not okay while I'm overthinking. I need to change it. I need to stop it. I need to get rid of anxiety. I'm not okay. I'm not okay if I don't sleep. I'm not okay with any of this. So I need to calm down. I need to accept it. I need to do something. Ultimately, message we receive, I'm not okay. accepting what is, like properly, just being okay with it allows the sort of the fight or flight to calm down, allows the anxiety to kind of, but you're not needing it to. This is the whole thing that it's kind of it's a bit counterintuitive, because it's like, it's okay, feel it, get interested in it. What am I telling myself? And what is it that I'm experiencing through my body? This fight or flight feeling, God, it's powerful. It's so powerful. Last night when I felt it, oh my God, it was, your heart starts to race, and you've told yourself you're not okay. And your body responds to that. It really does. I felt it. I really felt it last night. And it was like, wow. But when you kind of like, oh, you just accept that's what I'm bringing alive in this moment. I don't need to do anything with it. I don't need to try and find this space of calm being in order to feel okay, because with acceptance, there is a knowing that beyond all of it, beyond everything we create, we're okay. And can you see how that's not the same as trying to get rid of our experience in order to feel okay? It's different. I am okay with whatever's going on in my experience. And that particular night, I remember it really clearly, because I just, without it, nothing changed, and I just went to sleep. Because I've given myself, without even knowing, I've given myself a completely different message, which is I'm okay when I'm overthinking, when I'm anxious, when I'm okay with all of it. And then it's like your whole body calms down. And yeah. And sometimes, it's just interesting if you kind of look at it and observe it. And I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm just trying to share my experience to just see if it brings a bit of, I don't know, relief. Anyway, I'm going to go back to painting. Bye.